Good morning, everyone. My name is Austin Perea, and I'm currently double majoring in political science and economics here at UNH. And this summer, I had the pleasure of working with Pax World Management, which is the sustainable investment advisor to Pax World Mutual Funds in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So the problem that Pax is trying to address is really a fundamental problem of finance, in that investment seems to typically be driven by financial gain. So while companies and businesses are trying to fill a void in the market by providing a good or service, it seems that investors are seeking a return on capital. So this can obviously lead to some negative externalities in the market. While traditional business models, they tend to not emphasize sustainable activities as much as they emphasize profits. So obviously every business that is lucrative doesn't necessarily mean it's ethical. So, for example, investing in alcohol, for instance, could be lucrative, but it has some very adverse effects. So the way that Pax addresses this problem is through their model of sustainable investment. So what does that mean, sustainable investment? The model there is the full integration of ESG criteria into the investment decision. So the investment process for Pax is actually really a two-tiered process. So the financial analysis is very similar to what others investment advisors are doing. So that's examining companies based on exposure to risk, future cash flows, and various other criteria. I, however, worked in sustainability research, so we were examining companies based on their sustainability criteria. So there's a whole wide range of criteria for that. Anything ranging from seeing if companies are adhering to environmental regulation, to see if companies are disclosing information about their executive compensation. In particular, I actually worked in worker safety, which is more of a social issue. So I spent a lot of my summer looking at the OSHA database and seeing in a peer group setting in the industrial machinery industry who was the leader in that, who was the best in class in terms of worker safety. And then we could complement that information with disclosure on their website that they willfully disclosed about what worker safety programs they had and how they're actively trying to reduce rates of accident. So we do this because we at PAX believe that by identifying this ESG criteria, we can actually better identify better managed companies. As you can see here, there's actually an impact of ESG on financial performance, mostly in reducing regulatory, litigation, or reputational risk. And by reducing this risk, you can actually see financial returns from this. And so the next step of this is the advocacy part. So once we actually have a holding on a company, we're able to influence their decisions as part owner. So the way we do this is through direct engagement with the management. We try to convince them that there actually are financial returns to implementing this type of sustainability criteria in their corporate practices. But also there's shareholder advocacy, and that's really an umbrella term. It encompasses a lot of things, but the most recent case of this was recently Pax was able to team up with a couple other sustainable investment type organizations and like-minded NGOs, and we're able to actually get Target to agree to provide additional disclosure of its lobbying activities and its expenses in regards to political campaign financing. So that's just one of many examples where Pax has been able to influence companies' decision and try to make them strengthen that ESG performance. So the long-term outcomes are that there seems to be a growing market imperative for companies to be more sustainable and start disclosing more information in order to remain competitive. So whereas 10 years ago companies were just disclosing information about their finances, now they're willfully disclosing information and publishing standalone sustainability reports, which is just awesome. So what I loved about this job was I thought it was cool that it was a private sector initiative for market transformation, and that market drive for sustainable practice is actually leading to long-term growth, not only for these companies in the market, but also for the planet and the people within it. So that was my summer. I had a fantastic time, and I have to thank David Lowen for just being tremendous for me this summer. So thank you.